Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Years in the Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have actually someone who we've had on before. It was not a buffet line episode. Today will be a buffet line episode. Obviously, we've been trying to focus a lot more on those and interviewing certain specific people that I feel like need the love. This is one of those individuals. Like I said, this person was, if you want to call it, this entity was on our podcast. I think it was during COVID. And I thought it was one of the more fun episodes that we've ever done on Two Years in the Face. But COVID was a weird time. And so we wanted to bring this, not a lot of people maybe have heard, or not enough people, I think maybe have heard this. We wanted to bring this individual back. Individual coming off an injury as well. So there's relevancy there, right? Individual coming off an injury, getting back into the ring. And it's just going to be me today and our guest in the buffet line. Chris has a work thing. He apologizes that he can't make it. But I'd like to introduce into the buffet line, second time on the podcast, Mr. Mask, first name Danger Mask. How are you doing?
Attention, human podcast listeners. Due to a dose of cosmic radiation, the infamous Danger Mask. We'll be talking like this for the time being. Going forward like an hour or so. What's up, guy?
Hey, sorry about the radiation. That wasn't from your injury. That was a separate issue, right? You had the injury.
Totally separate injury. Yeah, I was working on some other experiments. I was like, okay, let's add some cosmic radiation to this. Maybe speed up the healing process. So
right.
See how it works.
Yeah, maybe that's how John Cena heals so quick, is a dose of cosmic radiation. So I don't know
if there is one man who's going to do it, it's him. He can do it.
Well, so how is the injury? Are you doing better? Like, are you doing well?
Rehab's going really well. My physical therapist told me I have the strongest toes she has ever seen on a person. So freaking get ready. Try to put me in a spinning toe hold. It's not going to work. I got the world's strongest toes. My hips are going to be basically the world's strongest hips. I'm convinced. I'm putting a lot of effort into just having superhuman hips. Hip checking everybody around the clock. Goon, you're on. I'm putting you on blast. I'm going to have the hip check.
Awesome. Yeah, there isn't enough we need more hip checks in wrestling. So maybe you can be the person to lead that movement.
That's it.
Yeah, and so I don't know your anatomy and how it differs from a human. But you have 10 toes, right? And is that what you injured, or was it a part of your leg?
It was the fifth metatarsal on my left foot. So it was the lateral most bone, on the left foot, along with a severely sprained ankle.
Oh, jeez. And that's is this a wrestling injury? I mean, is this happening in the stars during like a battle up there, or no?
I was coming off of a step. A skill 3-year-olds have mastered.
Yeah, that's even worse than Trevor Outlaw. It's even worse than Trevor Outlaw's. I mean, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But like that's a simple thing you don't think about. Obviously, Trevor Outlaw's was the same where he just kind of hopped off the ring, and now word is out there. Is he still milking this injury or not? We'll leave that up to the listener to decide. But yeah, it seems like a simple thing that you do every day.
As far as Trevor goes, I'll see if I can. I'll put my informants on it. I'll get back to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, dude. As like all the silly, dangerous, just crazy things that I do, and then it's like, I came off a step wrong.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
I should have just tried to do a flip out of it.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about the shooting star press. I mean, so to be honest, like I know we had a conversation during COVID. But I can't remember the past 2 years feels like 17 years to me. It feels very long, and I can't remember exactly what happened when. So we might repeat some questions, but I want to ask a little bit more about the shooting star press because that's pretty interesting. But first, Danger Mask, I want to know, what are the aspects that you love about wrestling? What is it that you love about wrestling? Is it the performance aspect? Is it the athleticism? Is it doing a shooting star press off the top rope? Like, what is it that attracts you to this sport?
So I have had different priorities at different times in my fanhood. When I was like a young little kid, like the bigness and uniqueness of it was just so like attention grabbing that you just like have to be hooked on it. Like I remember the first time I saw pro wrestling, like when I was 6 years old. I remember it was like watching the Big Boss Man and just being enthralled with what I was seeing. When I got a little older, I could appreciate characters and like the struggle between good and evil a little more. You know, like I wanted to see Hogan stop the $1 Million Man, like this evil rich asshole. You want to see him like get put in his place. When I was a teenager, that's when I was like, okay, who can do the coolest moves? Like if you're a guy who can like do cool moves, I'm like, all right, this guy's the best. That like around that like time, I kind of got into, I branched out with like Japan and like ECW. And then like the fandom and the subculture of it, like there is a community. Like I understand why some people might, one of the things that draws people into wrestling is the community of it all.
Yeah.
But not, like now I enjoy the thing that I enjoy about wrestling the most now. How people like will game plan something and how they'll like kind of put like a structure together and how people interact. Like the match between, I don't know, I'm gonna like Dolph Ziggler and Nakamura, you know, is going to be a different type of match than like Dolph Ziggler and like Kane. You know, people are going to have like a different game plan. Like how are these differentiating forces going to like interact with each other? Like what's going to be the story there? And I do feel that like that's when I watch wrestling now, I'm like, oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, how it's constructed, how the sausage is made, so to speak.
I like when I think about, oh wow, oh well, look at that. Oh, are they gonna come back to this? He was grabbing at his arm. Is something going on with the arm? Is he gonna have to like overpower something, or is it gonna give out underneath all the weight of what he's trying to lift?
Yeah,
so I really like watching that now.
Have you this is a question I was gonna ask later, but since we're on it, have you ever I know you're a force in the ring. I've seen it. Have you ever thought about being on the other side behind the curtain in any capacity, or maybe even being in that managerial role to have maybe a little bit more of that? Not that when you're wrestling someone, you can't bring out your creativity, but just that other side of like the creativity, the stuff that happens behind the curtain.
As it like kind of relates to that, and this is something that I like, I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to try to like pat myself on the back and be like, oh, I'm such a cool guy or whatever. There are people whose opinions I hold in like very 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 high esteem, who have like said to me that like that I'm somebody that people can go to at least for some like ideas or like for feedback. I do enjoy like giving the feedback to people, just because I mean, since I like watch whatever, like a lot of wrestling, and I've seen a lot, and I'll kind of like pick things apart a little bit, or either like in a managerial role, or like, oh, how about this? Like, let's get some strategery going on, or I'll kind of like help people put some pieces together that they've already got, but like, oh, let's try to tinker around with this. Just kind of beer, you know, cheerleader for you.
No, that's, I mean, obviously I think it starts with being interested in it, and then you start to pick up a knack for that part. And it sounds like you do have at least people who would go to you for guidance, or your opinion does matter behind the curtain, which is great. I want to put you on the spot a little bit on the creative side, if I can.
Yes.
I tried to spice up the salad bar a little bit today. Maybe throw, you know, the pepper grinder into the salad for a second. If you were to come up with a pay-per-view name of your own, what would that pay-per-view be?
Danger Mask's Haunted Mansion.
Okay. Is it a Halloween Havoc style? Is it a little different, but maybe meets Halloween Havoc meets outer space kind of setup?
Cosmic horror is great.
Okay, cosmic horror.
Basically what I would like to, and I kind of like, okay, I shouldn't be admitting on like, you know, something that is digitally recorded forever, that I was looking into how I could do something that is 100% illegal. But during like I was like, I had toyed with it. I was like, oh, let me think about this. I was looking for abandoned properties, specifically that had like scary architecture. Whether it was like an abandoned mansion or something, and be like, okay,
Yeah.
how I like wanted to get here. What are logistically? How can we like what? Did, if we like get it, if we like break inside, do they have like the big spooky staircase coming down like right in that big giant open hall? Can we like set a ring up in here? I did like I wasn't considering it, but I was thinking about it.
How far did you get down the rabbit hole? Did you find did you narrow it down to like a list of three locations?
3 spots that I thought that could maybe possibly were like at least to be considered. But I was like, okay, I am not doing this. I am not going to like freaking break into like an abandoned mansion and try to like stage some kind of clandestine event.
Maybe one day, maybe you're for your final swan song. I think that'd be a pretty epic story. I just want to apologize if anyone's listening and hearing fireworks still in the background, like it's still going on. This is July 5th, at least by me, it still is. So I just want to apologize if that's disrupting anyone. But there's a few ideas that come to mind. I know Matt Nix has told the story before on the podcast about the first time he like went to this abandoned warehouse. That I don't think it was I don't know if it was abandoned or not. It sounds cooler if you say abandoned warehouse, but like, and he wasn't sure if he was in the right place. Like one of his first like training experiences. That's a pretty fun story. If you see him, ask him that at any sort of freelance show. It's a funny story. So that could, I don't know if that's a place, or I don't know if people are still using, isn't there like a Joliet prison that only gges used once a year? That would be pretty epic. I don't know if that was on the list.
I know the name of it because actually I live Statesville.
Yeah, yes, that's what it's called. Yeah. So if they're that, just don't have it during Halloween because they're using it, but like maybe right after Halloween, no one's gonna expect anyone to be in there, and then that's when you sneak in.
That's when I'll do it. Let's go! Let's fucking go!
November show. No, that was great. It sounds like you've thought about this before, which is great.
100%. I've like, and I'm like, okay, who am I booking? Mojo's on it. I'm like,
definitely.
Wrestlers only. It's only spooky wrestlers. That's it.
Oh, it's great. Freelance Underground. How did you get hooked up, started with them? Because that's where I have seen.
Yeah.
There's one other place I've seen you wrestle. I want to bring it up because it was it was an experience for me. But how did you get into the freelance group?
So I was involved in pro wrestling in like the 2000s. It just wasn't, the time wasn't right. We'll just say that. So like things were just not going the way that they needed to go. Like I didn't have my head screwed on like tight enough really, or I just had other things going on.
Yeah.
I left the continental United States for a couple of years, was kind of doing other things. If I could be any less vague, I would. Or no, if I could be more vague, I would. If I could be any more vague, then I left the country and did a couple things.
Yeah. You're scouting locations, you know.
But you know, I've had friends who are involved in pro wrestling. Once I kind of like came back to the continental US, a friend of like one of my best friends, Jake O'Neill, hooked me up and he's like, hey, you're back. Let's do this. And so he had made connections on his own as like an accomplished guy in his own right.
Okay.
He was basically, he pointed me in the direction of underground at the time, which is where I like met a lot of other people. I basically owe it all to my man Jake, who kind of brought me back into the fold.
Yeah.
I came back and I've just been running with it. There's a little bit of mystery that I guess, I mean, maybe some people know about it, some people don't know about it. It for the people who do know, it is kind of just like a fun little secret that we have. I did have a brief tenure where I wrestled without a mask. And so some people like know about it, and the people who do know, again, it's this fun like little secret for us, and people that isn't, whatever. It's again, it's just for our little thing. But then after like wrestling with Underground, I decided it was time to become Danger Mask.
Yeah. There was one guy who used to do kind of one of the same moves that you do, but it probably wasn't
Yeah.
related at all. So I think we'll just probably move on from that. But um, Dangerous, I'm assuming you eat human food, normal human food. So like
Yeah.
salads, what is your favorite part of the salad as we round out the salad bar here?
I'm going to tell you this. If I'm like out and about and I see there's one ingredient like on a salad where if I see it, if it's listed on the ingredients, I know that this salad is about to go off.
Okay.
If I see tortilla strips,
Oh,
as on, I'm like, this salad it's gonna bang. It's gonna have everything I want on it. Like your freaking perfect salad is gonna have like the tortilla strips, maybe some jalapenos, some avocado, some grilled chicken. But like, I know that when I see the tortilla strips listed on there, I'm like, this is it. This is gonna be a banger. This is a championship caliber salad right here.
you're partial to like the Southwest salad
Oh,
style.
big time.
Yeah. Is that so? That it seems like that flavor palette would do well in like a Chili's. Shout out to Chili's.
Oh, big shout out to Chili's.
Of course. Oh, Chili's over Applebee's, right?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
A friend of mine. Oh, wait, I gotta tell you super quick. About Chili's.
Okay.
So when I was like living overseas, a friend of mine, it was his 21st birthday, and I was like, all right, man, well, it's your 21st, like we're going out tonight, I'm taking you out to the bar. And there's like a bar that was near the place where we were living, and I was like, let's go, let's get the bar. And he's like, we going to Chili's. Like, he wanted to go to Chili's for his 21st birthday, and it got really it got pretty wild. I thought we were going to get kicked out. I honestly thought I was going to be kicked out of a Chili's because my buddy wanted to act up at Chili's on his 21st birthday.
Wow, that's a hell of a place for a 21st. I didn't even make it. He did better than I did. I didn't even make it out of the home for the 21st. I would not recommend what I did. I would recommend what your friend did, which is like fully experiencing your 21st birthday. And yeah, I mean, if it's got to be at Chili's, I'm sure Andy Long is probably just gritting his teeth listening to this. But I'm partial to Chili's over Applebee's. That's no offense to anyone. But yeah, shout out to Chili's. And if the place is good, then go there. Shit. We're gonna get into the hot plate.
Let's go.
The hot plate. I want to start off by, so that's like your main course hot plate. This is the wrestling buffet line. If you're not familiar with this, right?
I listened to the show.
There's 3 parts. I know you do. That was for the listeners out there. Oh, yeah. The persona of Danger Mask. I want to know how this idea came to be and how it manifested, because you're an interesting character. I'm going to have a follow-up question to this about a certain signal that you do or gesture, and it seems like an amalgamation of different things, but also like a character I can't look away from at times. So I want to just know how it started, how it was created. Where did it come from? Where did you come from?
What rules about pro wrestling, especially as a active participant in it, you can be what you like. You are your most true and authentic version of what you are trying to do. Like, mm-hmm. if you're like, man, it would be really cool if somebody in pro wrestling did this. Guess what? You can do it. So yeah. I had all these thoughts where I was like, dude, what? Like, oh man, who's really cool? Like, this guy, man, I freaking love this. Man, how about, man, isn't it cool when like guys do this? And I was like, what? Yeah, just do all of the things that you think are cool and that you want to do and that you want to see. Like, if you're a freaking singer-songwriter, write the songs that you want to sing about. If you're a freaking video game designer, make the video games about the things that you think are cool. And if you're a pro wrestler, like, I mean, I guess there are some limitations because you have to actually physically be able to do the thing.
Yes.
But like it really is something that is constrained like only by your sort of like effort and imagination. Obviously, I mean, the gear and the stuff that I have like like visually. Absolutely. I mean, you could say that it's an inspiration, or you could say that it's like a freaking bold face just stealing, like just completely ripping something off. I mean, there's like, but there's so much cool things like in the world of pro wrestling that, yeah, why wouldn't, if it's something that you love and you want to like pay tribute to, like, why not do it? I mean, if you are doing it like with a sense of like love behind it, then yeah, like why wouldn't I try to create a persona that just has the things in it that I personally think are cool?
Yeah, there can be, you could either be labeled right as a ripoff, or you could be labeled as someone who's paying tribute. But I think only you might know that, and obviously you wherever you got your inspiration from, it's probably multiple different things. But it's a little bit of you, and it's a little bit of maybe things you're paying tribute to create this. And I agree that it's such an interesting art form, and it is art. So why not be the artist, right? Why not try to be the artist and try to step outside the mold? So am I hitting that right?
Yeah, there can be other things like I do know other. I've seen it kind of happen before where somebody has like an idea. I mean, I'm having a hard time picking up like something like either specifically, and especially, you know, I wouldn't want to put anybody on blast or whatever.
Right.
But sometimes somebody like has an idea and they're like passionate. They're like, this is it. This is, bro, this is it. But it's like, well, I don't know if that might not, I don't know, maybe retool that idea like a little bit. But there's, I don't know, the kind of that you have to rein it in, maybe analyze things and like really think about it. I mean, I would never want to tell somebody like, no, you can't do this. This is, you shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea. But I mean, there is that other side of the coin where you can listen to people who have maybe who might have like some insight, who can be like, try thinking about it this way, or like whatever. You can still achieve the thing that you are trying to achieve, but go through it like through like a different avenue. Like,
right.
You know, you don't have to drive a car everywhere. You can get there. You can get to the same destination like on a train.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like that's kind of what I was getting at, is that the goal, if the goal is to entertain, the goal is the same, but you can get there in so many different, you can entertain in so many different ways. So I think that's where you probably took that creative freedom, and obviously you are entertaining and have entertained. So you're accomplishing that, whether you're, you know, wrestling without a hood, like you said, or you are being the cosmic entity Danger Mask.
Yeah, that was just a test run. We'll say that was the prototype, where I just had to. I was still gathering information. I was like, okay, when am I going to be ready to like freaking go?
Yeah. So I want to know. So the Italian hand gesture. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, like when watching Danger, like it's always entertaining. But there is times, there is things that Danger Mask does that I just feel like you stop and stare, and then you're just like, you can tilt your head for a second, and then it's like, oh, this is still kind of entertaining. But so one thing I tilt my head and I have a question about is the Italian like cupping hand gesture, right? And people know it as like the emoji that you use.
Danger Mask emoji.
Yeah, the Danger Mask emoji, right? So I think we did ask this question before, but once again, this is getting to know you on a little bit more personal level.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if we asked I think maybe in the past we asked if you were Italian, but like, how did that start and where does that come from? Do you have an Italian heritage, or do you just feel like doing that?
Well, first off, iOS or whoever is in charge of those things, they owe me royalties.
It's for damn sure.
You didn't see that gesture, that emoji gesture, until after I was like going nuts with it. So
that's actually true. That's a true statement.
Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or whoever's in charge of these things, don't make me come for you. Give me these. Give me my bag. I have it coming.
It's true.
How many more like celebrities can I threaten on your podcast?
Yeah, I love you said Elon Musk, and like, like is still not involved in Apple at all, but it still like makes sense in my head.
You should just
somehow.
be in
Like
space.
that guy's just like in charge of so much shit now. Like it's like, yeah, that checks out.
To distill it down a little bit, it's okay. I do it because I believe in it. Like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you can do whatever the thing that you want to do, and the gesture that you are referring to, where it starts up like with fingers towards the sky and then downward.
Oh, it does. Yes, there is a second
like
part.
In sort of like a dragging a bag of tea, like a skimming tea across the water in like your cup is basically how, like dipping your tea bag in a cup.
Yes.
Not the gross way. I'm not trying to like the gross gamer way of like teabagging. We're not doing that. But I mean like literally like just dipping something in a just dipping something basically.
Yes.
That is just like a thing that it's like me and maybe 12 other people on earth will understand, because it's just like a reference of like my close friends and I that we used as a gesture of affirmation, being like, I'm ready to go. Like if I would like ask, my buddies like, hey, you ready to go? Are we going out? Are we doing this thing? And they would just like they would, hands up, and then we're gonna dip into it.
Okay. Are they Italian?
One of them is, yeah.
Okay,
One of
okay.
them is a super duper Italian guy.
Okay.
If somebody really wants to know, if they need to get down to the nitty gritty of it, I feel comfortable with sharing some of my like
sure
secrets. If someone listening to this, if they really want to know at least where it comes from or what inspired it, I want to dip my blank in it. I'll say if somebody
okay.
I want to dip my blank in it, they may find themselves going down a rabbit hole that will explain the trajectory of how we use the fingers and thumb together, pointing upwards and then pointing down. They may understand where our we use that as an expression of affirmation and like just saying yes, like I am ready. Yeah.
So like if I would use it if I was like about to dive into like an Italian beef sandwich,
you can do
the
that.
Mozzarella with the hot jardinere dipped. Like I would use that expression then. Probably before or during.
Before or during, or if we're like at the bar and we got our shots lined up, we like, okay, hey.
Okay.
Or we're like ready to go to the party. We're like, all right, hey guys, like I roll up to your house, like, you ready? And you're like kind of like just put your hand out the window and do the thing.
Okay. So it's more of a I am ready to do X thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm ready to dip my blank in it.
Okay. It's I kind of like it. It's much more complicated than I thought, but I kind of like it.
It's incredibly convoluted. Yes, it's very. Yeah, this is like the most esoteric sort of most effort for nothing. Like get back. Yeah, this is an odd thing for sure.
Do you ever feel like you're going to, when you're up there for a shooting star press, do you ever feel like you're not going to make it all the way around?
Never.
No. It's 100. Have you had 100% success rate with that?
The only time it didn't 100, it was like in a backyard. Honestly, that was the only the only time I didn't ever like completely.
That seems fitting.
100% complete the rotation. Yeah, it was in a backyard.
That seems fitting.
Every other time, if I felt scared, then I'm already at a disadvantage. Like if you're scared, you're all.
So you need to go up there, which is 100% confidence that I'm going to pull this off.
Yeah, you just got to know that like I freaking got it.
Okay. This was, so I want to give a shout out to Chico Suave, of course, the hashtag Viva Chico. So we say that on the podcast, literally every episode, if you listen to this podcast. He did some really good work. I knew Monix was going to turn on him. We've been preaching how bad of a person Pat Monix is on this podcast for some time now. And we just hope Chico's okay and Chico can rebound. Before Chico got involved with that slime ball, there was a tag team forming that we were so hyped for. It was Viva La Danger. There was even like a promo shot. Is it a possibility that could come back? And how did you guys feel about that tag team? Because I know there was a little bit of like you were working out the kinks in the ring, right?
Chico can go. I like cosmic radiation or not. I will say that Chico can frickin' go.
Okay.
He is also like whatever. If I'm cosmic, Chico's from Planet Goofball. He came here like in a clown car for sure.
It's true.
But he can frickin' go.
Yeah, I agree.
For us, we had our tag match together. Victorious. I tagged with Chico, but I was like, okay, no, I got this. Like, okay, well, maybe I'm not ready for to be partnered up long term with this guy yet.
Okay.
Had a match without him. Freaking lost. So I'm 1-1, tagging with and then without Chico. So would I tag with him again? I believe in numbers and I believe in empirical data. Evidence-based practice rules every single day of my life. Of course I would. I'm like, if I gotta grit my teeth and bear through it. I mean, how can you argue with success? Even if it's not, hey, it's that thing that I was saying before where like you can get to the same destination a bunch of ways. You can take a train, you can take a plane, you can fly there, you can ride a bike, whatever. Yeah. I want to be like doing this high profile stuff. Like that's the end goal. And if I'm tagging, you know what? Whew, okay. Chico, however, he's getting mixed up. He ran with the wrong crowd, and I can get it.
Yeah, he did.
Pat, like I've got my own like personal history with him. I've been knowing him for a long time, and the history with like Pat and Chico. Pat's he's a charming man, and so for Chico to fall into that. And then just kind of see how everything was going to like play out. It was unsettling to watch, I would say.
Yeah.
Chico maybe needs somebody to watch out for his better interests. Because sometimes, when you can have blinders on to how people are treating you. And so having another party or somebody just to tell you what's what.
It sounds like you might be that person.
I love Chico. If somebody's got to be looking out for him. The DMs are always open. I'm not on lock. I'm too easy to get a hold of.
I am in favor of that team coming back. So hopefully that does happen. There was, like I said, the one other place I saw you. I was asked randomly, God, I don't even know what year this was. It might have been like 2016 or 2017. I was asked randomly to go to a indie show. It's a indie that I wasn't super familiar with at the time. It was called Wrestle League.
Yeah.
And interesting show. Definitely interesting show. Every independent is different. I think every independent that we cover here or we talk about on Tuesdays on Face has strengths, things that they're really good at, things that they're not. It was an interesting show. It was like a kid-friendly show, but then there was a guy dropping a lot of swear words in the ring, and there was just a lot of stuff going on that didn't make sense. But then I did see you there. So Wrestle League, how was that experience? Help me put that together, because it was like this random like fever dream memory in my head. I can't exactly remember why I was there, but I was there.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, no, I had a singles match. Alex Slade.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Slade's my boy.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so yeah, I know. I'm trying to put everything like in my mind exactly like.
That's how I feel about it, and I don't even know if I asked you a question in that, but I just need to I need to somehow resolve this show I went to in my head. And I remember you were the only person I knew on the card. There was other wrestlers on that card I did enjoy. And then there was a lot of like chaos as well that I wasn't sure what was going on.
There's definitely a lot of for like 100%. Like let me shout out Rob Wilhelm. What's up, man? I don't know if Rob's my boy. 100%.
You got to make sure to send this to him, or I will. But I don't know who he is. But yes, shout out Rob.
I'll shout out Rob.
That was an experience. It was an experience.
I'll link you up.
Okay, cool. Cool. I have 2 more questions for the main course. Now that so this is kind of about the comeback plan. What is the plan now with the comeback? Are you just whatever James has got for you? Are you going after anyone specific? Like, so I guess it's a 2-part question. Is there anyone on your radar? I know we talked about teaming back up with Chico, but is anyone you're going after specifically? Is there anyone you're like looking to kind of start beef with, or are you just going to take what comes to you?
I'm still like a couple of weeks out from when the doctor clears me 100% and I'm like ready to go. Then I'm going to be coming back, like getting in the ring and like training in the ring. So I'm not in ring training. I got to wait for like the go ahead. It's coming up. And so then after I get a little bit of just like my ring footing back, Storm, I'm coming for you, dog. That's it.
I thought there was a pause. I was like, he's computing. Yeah, that's the top dog right now.
Hey, I love him.
Grayson.
I love him. Dude, he is freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming for you, dog.
Man, we got it's at a
challenge you right now.
Yeah, there's a challenge being issued right now. Danger Mask. A force to be reckoned with, calling out Storm Grayson, one who's probably able to navigate the storm in his. Do you have like a spaceship, or how do you just teleport in a thing, or how do you get around?
A series of tubes.
Oh, okay.
I think I am a fan of tube-based travel.
Is that like step 1? Is that like is that like the beta of teleporting?
A great way of looking at it. Look, we can go into these teleporters. Who knows what's coming out of there? Who knows what's coming out? You're gonna get turned into a brundlefly.
Damn it! I was gonna make a fly reference, but
who knows what's gonna happen?
We don't want any of that. No, we don't want any of that. That's pretty gross.
Hey, I turned into Jeff Goldblum though.
Hey, that would be fun. That would be fun. You do well at parties, I think, like cocktail mixers. You do well in that scene. All right, your favorite main course dish, Danger Mask. Like, what is like your entree that you go to? Is it a Chili's entree or is it something else?
Ooh, man, I love a burger.
Okay,
I freaking love a burger, man. If there's a place that has like a good reputation for burgers, especially if it has that Southwest flavor, it's like kind of a little spicy.
Yeah. We're back in the Southwest.
I love it. What am I doing in Chicago? I gotta get to the Southwest.
You're going to Chili's. That's where you're going. That's got that Southwest flavor. So how do you feel about croutons in a salad? But back to that for 1 second.
They're good. Like, okay, a crouton, especially if it has either garlic or Parmesan, that's fine. Other times, what are we doing with these things?
I think Danger Mask is a man that needs the flavor. He needs the flavor. He's ready with the flavor, right? He needs the seasoning.
I'm ready to dive in.
You're ready to dive in.
Give me the flavor. I want the flavor. Give me the flavor.
Okay, back to the desserts. We have 3 quick questions and then word association, which I'll explain if the person is not familiar with that. Dessert. So wrestling. Right, that's what you do. What do you turn on? Like, if you, I'm sure you're following wrestling right now of some sort. Like, when you go to watch wrestling night right now, what are you turning on first? Like, what is the thing you watch?
Well, I'll give that plug, that free plug to IWTV.
Okay.
A lot of since I get like I don't know, I am a busy guy. I do have a lot of stuff going on. It can be hard for me to keep up sort of like with a large degree of consistency. I love watching wrestling, so a lot of times what I'll do is just what the recommended pages on IWTV. If I would just want to sit down and like enjoy wrestling, that's what I'll put on. Oh, yeah. Enjoy wrestling. How about no? I follow them. Enjoy wrestling. I'm calling them out. Hey, Ziggy Heim. Give me Ziggy Heim. I'm freaking calling her out.
Okay.
That's my return match. Me versus Ziggy. That's it.
All right.
I'm coming for you.
Well, we can make sure to clip that. Once again, being introduced to new people, your friend that you mentioned from Wrestle League, and now this person. So you make the connection. I'll send them the episode.
It's on, dude. I'm coming for you. Freaking game over, dude.
So I put this one on here too because I wanted to add the flavor. I wanted to dip into some flavor here. So this past WrestleMania season, Undertaker went in the Hall of Fame. So I have different groups of friends. My main group of friends from high school are like your more casual wrestling fans. Like these are the people that watch. Like there's nothing wrong with this, right? Again, wrestling is a buffet. We don't judge here. That's why we're going to the buffet line. But when they watch like in the Attitude Era 90s into like the early 2000s. So like Undertaker to them, is once again, like he's in many people's probably top fives or top fours, maybe people's favorites. But like when Undertaker went into the Hall of Fame and retired, I say that in quotations because it's wrestling. They latched on. They like actually watched WrestleMania this year as being more casual fans. It brought in like that crowd that knows who Undertaker is, which is more like casual fans, because Undertaker's more mainstream. And we had a really good discussion. And then I'm in the group chat as well. So I'm like, they'll chime in, and I'm not like trying, this is not me bragging, but they'll be like, oh, the Rock, it was a Mount Rushmore discussion. That's going to be the question to you. Okay. Who is your Mount Rushmore? I'm getting to it. I'm rambling. But they're like, they're saying the people from the Attitude Era. I'm like, guys, so you got to think about it like a little bit before. And I'm like trying to broaden their perspective of wrestling, right? And like, who are these people that should be considered on the Mount Rushmore? Mine wavered a little bit. I think mine ended up being, and there's people probably older than me that would argue. It all depends on like kind of what you consumed. Mine was Hogan, Flair, Michaels, and Austin. That was mine. I think you could maybe argue Flair off of that for someone else for certain reasons, but it's still, I think he's such a legend. So here's the question now. Who is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
When it comes to the things that I enjoy seeing, like when I'm watching wrestling, Liger for sure.
Okay, yeah. So this is why this is a great question, because like I'm never gonna, I can't even argue. Like it's hard to argue against that. But
if somebody said that like John Tenta was on their Rushmore, like that's objectively fine, or subject. That is, yeah, but that is like fine. You can say if somebody likes
correct.
I don't know. I'm not. If somebody thinks that like WCW's Chronic is like the best tag team of all time, that's fine. And I don't
know if that one's fine. I don't think.
I'm joking. I really agree with it, but that's okay. The fact that like Brian Clark's Full Nelson Slam has been called the Fatty Boom Batty, that has lived rent free in my mind for. I think about that all the time. I'll just be like hanging out, and I'm like, yeah, they call his Full Nelson Slam was called the Fatty Boom Batty.
I didn't know that. So wait, sorry. I didn't mean to call you, but Liger. Okay, Liger. Who else?
I mean, I got to put LA Park on there. Come on.
Okay.
Like, of course he's on there.
I love how, and see, this is because you have I can tell you have a wider knowledge of wrestling. and we've already hit 2 different countries, I think. And I think that's what's cool as well. It's kind of about what you consume. Whereas my friends, love them, not hating on them, went to 90s WWF. Now we're at Liger LA Park. So yes, continue, because I love how diverse yours is so far.
I had a conversation a little bit ago with like August Matthews, and I was telling him that something that I wanted to try doing was I was only going to do things that I saw on like US TV pro wrestling from like 96 to 2000. That my approach was I was only going to do things that I saw like on TV in the US from 96 to 2000. I truly do love my top 2 picks so far have been Liger and LA Park, but like I got to put Jeff Jarrett on there, baby.
Oh man, that's great.
I love Jeff Jarrett.
What? So it's so hard to nail down. Jarrett, I feel like, has lived like 4 wrestling lives. Like what era of Jarrett, or is it just all of Jarrett?
I would say probably I mean, I could be like making a fool of myself. Like Snopes is going to fact check this on me and like come for me when I say that 1998 was it Summers? I think it was like SummerSlam 98, Jeff Jarrett versus X-Pac.
Okay.
That one specifically, like, I know it was a SummerSlam. It had to have been a SummerSlam match.
I think that's my favorite. Yes, when Jarrett swinging the guitar. Well, he does that all the time. But Jarrett swinging the guitar with the Slapnut shirt on in the Attitude Era.
Dude, in WCW, when he's like calling people Slapnuts.
Wait, am I mixing eras right now? Was it Slapnuts not a WWF thing?
I feel like I can say with a high level of certainty, again, freaking nerds, don't come for me. Danger Mask, he said he likes Jeff Jarrett, but he doesn't. That's not when he said Slapnut. Again, I'm only like
those are the nerds. Yes,
I should be. Nerds are like my freaking fan base. I got to be nice to them.
You got to be nicer to them. Yeah,
my fans here.
Definitely.
But no, I'm pretty sure Slapnut started in WCW in the.
Okay. I'm mixing my Jarrett's up, so maybe I need to up my Jarrett game. But Jeff Jarrett is 100% entertaining. Whoever, like, you can't really argue that. I mean, he's great.
And then if I'm rounding it off, there is a singular image that I am confident in saying that I have spent more time just looking at this image than I have looked at anything else in my life, probably. It's a picture of Kawada spin kicking a dude in the face, and their face is just like being like smushed into itself. I must put Kawada on my Mount Rushmore.
So you don't be mad at me. We're in a judgment-free zone. Who is that? I don't know who that is.
One of the 4 pillars.
Is that
Kawada's a guy from Japan.
Okay.
All Japan. There's in the very like self-serious American obsessed with Japan wrestling culture, which, by the way, like really kind of like side note on that, I went to Japan and I was there to see one of the Wrestle Kingdoms. And here, like in the US, when there's a lot of really freaking great Japanese wrestling. Sometimes here in the US, we have this sort of like attitude where it's like, oh, I'm a real wrestling fan because I watch Japanese wrestling. You know what I mean?
Sure. And that's why I think this is not me. We tried to promote this is why we have the buffet line.
Yeah.
And this is why we believe wrestling is a buffet, and we call ourselves a positive cast. We try very hard. We have an opinion on stuff. There's stuff we don't like, and that's fine. It's just an opinion. We try very hard to foster this non-judgmental environment. But yes, what you said is that there can be some of that gatekeeping a little bit where it's just
it's gatekeeping. You're exactly right. No, you are right, and that's the best way to put it. It's gatekeeping. But like when I went to Japan and I was like having a conversation with this guy, and he was like, okay, so like what kind of wrestling do you watch? Whatever. I was like, oh, do you like do you watch American wrestling? I was like, oh yeah, like of course, yeah, we watch WWE. And it's kind of I saw this like funny sort of like inversion of like the trope where it's like the dudes in Japan were like, oh yeah, sure, everybody here watches New Japan, but we're the hardcore fans. We like WWE. And it was just like really funny to me that like it just like flipped around, that like the sort of like trope that we have here when I was over. But your question though, Toshiaki Kawada is like the wrestler.
I love how like you might have one of the most unique. I think if I were to ask that question to 15, 20 different people, yours might be one of the most unique Mount Rushmores, and that's why I think I love your answer. So
I would, dude. I'm gonna see if I can. I'll send you some really like sick Kawada man. He's just like he has the most believable offense. That's it. Like if you like to see somebody like go in on somebody, like when Kawada throws those like the spin kicks, or like I don't know, one of his like little signature deals is just he's holding the dude's head down and he's just like freaking just kicks dudes in the face.
That's very on point for Japan. Japan.
Kawada rules. Of the four pillars, I would say I think Kawada is the GOAT.
I love it. No, please. There's going to be some stuff off, some links, some people introduced, some links shared after this. I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get into the word association, what other stuff are you into? What else is like? This is the guilty pleasure dessert section. So you can rattle off a few other things you do in your spare time.
Well, you may have heard me shout "Let's go" a couple of times. I'm obviously a video gamer.
Okay.
I'm like, let's go!
Yeah,
let's freaking go!
When you get that victory royale, baby, until dropping into tilted towers, right? And then you hit them.
Oh my god! Yeah. I am bad at that game. I don't play that. I don't play that either. I'm trash at that.
Yeah.
I can't play that because I don't want Zoomers to sheesh me. I don't want to get sheeshed by a bunch of Zoomers playing this.
What do you play then?
Elden Ring.
Nice. Okay.
Dude, I got into it. I never played like these ultra difficult punishing games before, but when I got hurt, I was like, well, I got some time, so I got into Elden Ring. For any, I don't know if your listeners are, if there's any like Elden Ring gamers, but let me just say, strength pilled all the way, baby. Fuck intelligence, fuck dexterity, fuck intelligence, fuck arcane. Put all your stats into strength. Give me the hammers. I just want the hammers.
Is your character like a big dumb idiot build, basically? No offense to them.
Look, poise, because I want to just charge through everybody's attack. I don't have to get good. I don't have to learn how to dodge. I don't have to learn how to block things. Just fucking charge in and smash them.
No dodging it for this.
No dodging. Dodging's for cowards.
Fuck dodging.
No, I'll dodge. Sometimes you gotta dodge. But parrying, it's too complicated. Hammers.
It's great.
I play some video games. Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Cuphead. I don't play like a wide variety of games, but the few games that I do play, I will like just obsessively just spend hours on.
Yeah. No, you know what you like and you dive into it. Great. Okay, are you ready for word association?
Let's freaking go.
So to review, I say one word. We read off 10 in a row. I say one word, you give me a one word answer, and then I move on to the next one. So it's supposed to be the people who do this very well. It's harder than you think. People who do this very well, right? Give one word answers, and there isn't a ton of like thinking or hesitation after I say the word. There obviously is going to be a little bit of that. But the people who do this really well, rattle them. Go ahead,
Let
sir.
me call out Prince Coda. He was given a bunch of different word answers.
I know.
I was listening, Coda. I'm calling you out. I'm coming after him next. Coda, you and me. That's it.
Well, you're gonna need he's got backup. So you're gonna
I do too. I'll get Chico.
There you go. I would watch that tag team match in a heartbeat. Okay, let's get in word association. The first word or group of words is pro wrestling.
Imagination.
Really good. Chico Suave.
Legend.
Yes. Mokina, Illinois.
Paradise.
The Simpsons.
Can you give an alt for that?
Yeah,
I have one alt. Sorry.
Yes.
Footloose.
Is that where it was filmed?
Have you seen the movie Footloose?
I mean, I know. I don't think I have, but I know the gist of it. I know what like.
It's no fun allowed. The town, basically, right? So
yeah. Okay. That's what you mean by that.
I'm going to send you the picture to this. I swear to, I am not making this up. There is a park, okay? A park in Mokina that has a sign on it that says no recreational activities allowed.
At a park.
At a park.
What are you supposed to do? Just
be bummed out. I don't know.
Okay, wait.
Like I have but if you have to spend a lot of time in like a boring, dumb town, you will either succeed or fail. Like it will force you to grow your mind and become like, I don't know, like a cool like thoughtful person or whatever, or what you're trapped and you fail and it sucks. But for anybody, any Mokinanites listening, I love you. I love Mokina.
I do know a fun, we're getting completely derailed, but I'm going to keep going. I do know a fun thing about the town of New Lenox. I think it has like the least amount of bars per something. I don't know, per people or per capita in like Illinois or something like that. So yeah. It doesn't seem like there's a lot to do. But I know your mayoral duty, so I had to throw that one in there. The fourth is The Simpsons.
Genius.
Andy Two Juice Long.
Incredible. Oh man. I already called Chico a legend. You know what? Okay, I got you. Tinny. Tinnie.
Tinny? Okay, I'm assuming that's an inside joke.
Yes.
Okay. Incredible, also a good word for him. Comic books.
Art.
World Championship Wrestling.
'90s.
The Shooting Star Press.
Fascinating.
Freelance Underground.
Chicago.
And last but not least, Danger Mask.
Supreme.
I think you aced that.
I knew what I was like, I'm ready for this.
You are listening.
You're going to catch me slipping.
You are listening to the podcast. I feel like you did your homework, and I feel like you knocked that one out of the park.
You got some good picks.
Yeah. Well, this is the time of the podcast where I admit that I stalked your Instagram, so that did happen.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's what happened, and that's how we got that list. Besides of what I know, Danger Mask. That was the end of the buffet line. How did you feel today went? Am I worthy of being in your presence?
Man, I'm satiated. Buffet line. I would say I'm a member of the Clean Plate Society. I clean my plate off.
Yeah. Dessert choice. What do you go with?
Dude, give me that soft serve ice cream.
Okay.
If they got brownies, like that's nice, especially nice, like if it's a warm brownie, we'll put that warm brownie on there. I love the buffet, either like the chocolate or the strawberry soft serve ice cream.
You know what you like. They got that at the Ranch Frosty?
Oh, I've never been there.
Oh, really?
The only ranch I have any familiarity with is Ram Ranch. Or the dressing. I guess there's ranch dressing, but
yeah, that's usually people's answer for the salad bar, and it grosses me out. I can't look at ranch.
I'll give you a vinaigrette. Are we talking about dressings?
Yeah, we're back on the dressings. No, I'm vinaigrette Italian. That's my domain for sure.
Same, hard same.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I feel like we got to, this is round 2. We got to know a little bit more. We got to hear about your game plan coming back. Obviously, this is part of the plan, the press junket, the press circuit, so to speak. So I'm glad we could help and assist in that. Enjoy your work. Need to get back with Chico as soon as possible and make that happen. Before we let you go back to all your ruling over the kingdom, where can people find you, and any last words or anything like that?
On pretty much all social media platforms, it is the Danger Mask. I would also put out there, hey, if you're on the PlayStation Network, it is also the Danger Mask.
Okay.
As far as, do I have anything other? I may be putting a hotline together. I'll tweet out if I get it my own hotline. I'll be making sure I put that out. 1-800-DANGER-MASK. Just call 1-800-DANGER-MASK.
I would get behind that if you took a call. You know, it doesn't have to be, it could be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be like a whole podcast thing, but if you just like a video or something, if you took a call, answered the call, you know, when the radiation wears off, when you have the full booming voice, I think that's just a good way to, you know, make a promo, so to speak, get your name out there more.
Ooh, oh man. Sorry, I got struck with the idea. There was something that I was going to try to tie in, but I can't put it out yet because I don't want anybody to steal this idea.
Okay, great. Well,
I got things in the works. I've got things in the works right now. I got my little projects going. Ooh, man. Can't wait.
Well, I'm sure people are excited to that. Obviously, follow Danger Mask, and you can see that. Let us know when that happens. We'll retweet, show love, etc. But other than that, man, thanks. I'm glad you're resting up. Get well soon, and thanks for coming on.
I'll be back before you know it. Thank you. Thanks for having me back for my second helping.
Definitely. All right, bye.
Thanks.